Hello everybody, my name is Waffle Toast, and this is my review for the Funko Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach action figures. And before I start, I just want to say I'm not reviewing Vanny. I have already reviewed Vanny, you could go watch that review if you want. But in that review, I pointed out how her leg was assembled improperly, or incorrectly, it's a better way to say it, which means the ball joint would sit higher on this leg than the other one. So what I did was I popped out the ball joint, carved out the leg, and then seated the ball joint in lower. So now she stands up straight instead of the awkward angle like before. Just thought I'd point that out. And since a lot of the figures are basically the same, I'm just going to review them in sets of two. Alright, first up we have the main man himself, Freddy Fazbear, and then the Bonnie replacement for Security Breach, which is Montgomery Gator, or Monty. So for accessories, Freddy comes with a microphone stand, which honestly isn't anything special, it's just a black piece of plastic. Comes with his microphone, which again, black piece of plastic with a little bit of silver paint, which just fits in his hand. And Monty comes with his base, which is two pieces, orange plastic, and then black plastic, painted orange at the top. There you go. He can hold it, but honestly, I'm just going to review Freddy because these are pretty much identical figures. A lot of the parts are reused. The only difference being, like, from the body and stuff is the spiked belt and wrist cuffs, and the texture being smooth on Monty, whereas Freddy, it is like a raised texture. But other than that, they are almost identical figures, except for the head and accessories. So, articulation for Freddy, actually, before I do articulation, I want to point it out. This was a pretty low point for Funko in terms of action figures because they reused a lot of parts. Actually, all of the heads on the four main animatronics from Security Breach are reused. Actually, no, not Monty. Monty's is new, but I'm pretty sure it's a remold of something. But Freddy's head is a repaint of Funtime Freddy's, and it's not terrible, like, it's not the best looking, but it's better than a lot of people make it out to be. Just thought I'd point that out. So for articulation, head is on a ball joint, can look up that far, can't look down. Every limb is on a ball joint, but due to the shoulder pads here, the arms go forward that far, back that far, can go out that far, they can swivel, elbow bends under 90 degrees, swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. Oh yeah, Funko ball joints for you. Legs split that far, can go forward that far, back that far. Knees surprisingly bend 90 degrees. There's a swivel there, and every limb is a swivel. Because, again, ball joints. Actually, I guess I lied. They're not really the same, because Monty's shoulder pads are connected, meaning he has a greater range of motion. So yeah, his arms can do a 360, but that's about the only difference. That's pretty much it. There's not a lot to cover with normal action figures, so it's also super late at night, and I don't want to be recording for too long, so I'm kind of rushing this just to get it out, and I have a huge backlog of Transformers I still have to review. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, no, I want to go over a few complaints I have with Monty. One is that he is supposed to be wearing gator skin pants, but they are the same color as his legs, so I wish they could have done like a darker green. And then his eyes, I don't know how, yeah, I'm just going to peel his sunglasses. Oh, crap, I just broke my Monty. That is unfortunate. But, yeah, as you can see, his eyes are unpainted. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to, like, glue that or something. Oh, well. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for Monty and Freddy. So, let's do size comparisons. You have Bandai Movie Monster Series Kiryu, World of Halo Master Chief from Halo Infinite. For the actual size of the figures, Freddy is about 13 centimeters to the top of the head, 14 to the top of the hat, or about 5 inches tall to the top of the hat, and 4 3/4 to the top of the head. Monty, he's about 5 inches tall, about 2.5 centimeters tall. Again, not accurate at all, but it's, I don't know anymore. You're watching a kid on YouTube in his basement filming crappy action figure reviews. They're not going to be great. But yeah, let's move on to the next two. Alright, next up is Roxanne Wolf and Glamrock Chica, which I'm just going to call them Roxy and Chica because I don't want to say the full names. Now, I'm only going to do the articulation for Roxy because, again, these two are very similar in terms of articulation, and some of the ball joints on my Chica are very loose, and it makes her a pain to pose, so I'm just going to very carefully move her to the side so she doesn't fall over, and just focus on Roxy as she falls over. Yeah, these two are a big step up in accuracy, but you could still see there's a bit of a problem because, again, they reused parts. Roxy just reuses Foxy's head and adds hair, and Chica just reuses the Wave 1 Chica and adds some earrings and a bow. They're not terrible by any means, but they're certainly not good either. For accessories, Chica comes with her guitar, Roxy comes with her keytar, which is just green plastic with some paint. Not much to say about it. She can hold it like you saw earlier. For articulation, arms can do a 360 because they're on a ball joint. They can go out that far. Swivel at the shoulder. Elbows can do like a 1 degree under 90. Again, swivel because it's a ball joint. Wrists can swivel. Legs can spread that far. Go forward that far. They can go back that far. Knees bend a little under 90 degrees. And there is a swivel, because again, ball joint. The head articulation on Roxy isn't good because of the hair. It makes it so she can't really move her head at all. And there is no neck articulation. Yeah, they're not great, but not bad either. So I don't really have any complaints other than I don't know if you can really see, but there's a bit of stray paint on my Chica. That's about it. Not much more to say with these guys. So, moving on. Just remembered, I forgot to do the size comparisons. So, just gonna do that real quick. Bandai Movie Monster Series Kiryu, World of Halo Master Chief. For the actual size of the figures, again, they're about 5 inches tall, 2.5 centimeters. Not much more to say other than that. Up last, we have Sun and Moon, which were pretty late additions to the Security Breach wave, but they are more than welcome, because they are probably the most accurate figures Funko has ever made. Not counting Ruin, because I haven't reviewed those yet. I haven't even taken them out of the boxes yet, but I do have them. Those reviews will be out, honestly, not anytime soon, because it took me this long to review all the Security Breach figures. I'm only going to do articulation for Sun, because unlike the other figures where they were very similar builds, these are the exact same figure. Also, it took a while to get me to balance Moon like that, and that's how I want him posed on my shelf, and I don't want to mess up the pose. These figures are very detailed. You can see there's even a black wash. Just one small issue, though, is that the wrists on my Sun are pretty loose. And this one you could literally just spin with little effort. But yeah, again, for articulation, ball joint. Due to the collar, the arms can only go out that far. Elbows bend a little under 90. There's a wrist swivel. There's a swivel at the elbow, because again, ball joint. Best head articulation, because it can look up that far, down that far, and it can even like rotate, and then it could do a full 360. There's a lot of fun poses you could get these guys in. Yeah, you could have a lot of, if you are to get any figure from the Security Breach wave, get one of these guys, because they're honestly just a lot of fun to mess around with. For leg articulation, due to like the skirt thing, go back that far, forward that far, can split that far, and the knees bend little. Actually, they don't bend to really any degree close to 90. But yeah, and there is a swivel. So yeah, also I forgot to point out, they even painted the circuit boards on the back of the heads, which is really cool. So one thing I am a little bit bummed about is that the hook thing back here is just one solid plastic. It's not drilled out, so you couldn't like have them floating like hang them from string on your shelf. That's a little bit disappointing. Other than that, these figures are pretty amazing. If I wasn't biased towards Roxy, these would probably be my favorite figures of the wave. But they are my second favorite figures of the wave. Besides the figures, here is Kiryu and Chief for the actual size of the figures. Where'd my tape measure go? Again, they're about 5 inches tall, 2.5 centimeters. Or 12.5 centimeters. Sorry if I got that wrong before. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Funko figures. If you've watched this far, which I doubt anyone has, because this review is way too long for reviewing these figures, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you want to, because you're obviously enjoying my content. And until I upload again, whenever that may be, goodbye.